What is going on, guys? We are back in the saddle, baby! Damn, it feels good to have my car back. Now, if you daily drive your muscle car, your sports car, the car that you're building, and it's kind of lost that new exciting feel that you got when you first got it, it's become a little jaded, something like that, drive something else for like a week and then hop back in and you will be blown away. Now, I know that's kind of unrealistic just to find something else to drive for a week. I kind of had a unique situation, dropping my car off for service and getting a loan vehicle. But after driving a loaner for a week and then hopping back in this thing, I haven't felt like that in this car since the first day I bought it, the first time I drove it. I mean, I was smiling and laughing like a little kid. It just, you know, I love my car and I love every time I get to drive it, but something about being away from it for a week and not experiencing it and driving something wildly different, something on the other end of the spectrum, and then getting back to my car, it brought me back to like day one all over again. All right, now let's get into the important part of this video. If you've been following, you know I dropped my car off for service. If you don't, I will catch you up very quickly. I was having a transmission leak, like in the back half of my transmission. It looked like there was fluid seeping out, and my active exhaust does not work. Quiet start does not work at all, and I started getting this message basically saying cannot switch modes or active or driving modes or exhaust modes, excuse me. So I took it in for the transmission leak and just mentioned the active exhaust to them to see what they would find. So the leak just turns out to be a drain plug according to them. I'm gonna keep an eye on it, you know, just make sure that it's no longer leaking, but that's all that was. They ordered a new drain plug, put it in, that was covered, didn't cost me anything, that was all warranted. I didn't have a very good experience with them, to be honest, because they had my car for a week. We talked a total of 3 times, me and my advisor, during that period. 2 of those times was me reaching out to him with questions, and one of those 2 times, it took me 5 different times of reaching out to the dealership to get a hold of him. I mean, he was like, he either wasn't there, or I'll take a message, or he's not in yet. Like, I could not get a hold of this guy. So 2 out of the 3 conversations was me reaching out. One of those times, I mean, it took 5 different times for me to get a hold of him. The one time that he contacted me was to tell me that they're not gonna cover the active exhaust to fix it because I have an aftermarket system on here. And it was gonna cost me $1,300 for them to put a new actuator in if I went with them, or if I wanted them to fix it. So I told him, do not touch it, leave it alone, no thanks. So I got out of there. He told me beforehand, but I paid a $159 diagnostic fee, and he told me with the active exhaust, if it's not covered, I'll have to pay that, then I can decide if I want to fix it. If it is covered, then I don't pay that and they'll just fix it. And of course, not covered, so it cost me $160 for them to tell me, you know, whatever, that it's not going to be covered, which I don't know if that's standard or not. It's still pretty annoying. Now this next part gets a little weird because he proceeds to tell me that when you put an active exhaust on, or you have to program the actuators, there's a series of steps, like turn the car on, turn the car off, do this, do that. Like a certain order, certain things that you have to do in a certain order for the actuators to work and program that was not in the course instructions. So I told him, send that over to me, email it to me, because I need to take a look at what this is. I've never heard of this ever. There's a series of special instructions to program these actuators. Me and my friend installed the Corsa active exhaust system on my car. Followed the instructions step by step, did exactly what it said. We had that, and even cross-referenced it with the CJ Pony Parts installation video. So straight from Corsa, CJ Pony Parts. Followed it, I mean, step by step, exactly what it said to do. We had no issues with it, you know, during the installation process, you know, and then things started acting up or whatever. So I have with me from Ford, this is from Ford, from the dealership, their step-by-step instructions on what the techs are supposed to do when they install this active exhaust or put a new actuator in, you know, something like that. So I'm just gonna read everything to you. I'll show you though, this is what it is. This is what they emailed me. Now they were supposed to have it printed off when I picked my car up. They didn't, of course, so I had to reach back out to them and tell them to email it to me. This is from Ford, what they're telling me I need to do. Step number 1, there's appears to be 12 steps here. Push the key button on. After key on, wait for 20 seconds for calibration to start. So it says during the key off period, ensure the doors are closed, brake pedal is released, and vehicle is asleep. So basically you're in the car and it is 100% asleep. Push the key button on, wait 20 seconds. The actuator will rotate the spring to the fully open and closed position, which will cause the spring to fully seat in the shaft cap notch. An audible click can be heard. So that is, I think in one of my last videos, if you just click the ignition button, you can hear it, you know, clicking or opening back there. Wait for 20 more seconds in this state and then push button to turn the key off. So it's pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy. Note, during the key off period, ensure the doors are closed, the brake pedal is released, and the vehicle is asleep. Push the key button on, start the engine. Change the exhaust mode setting, any mode that was not previously selected. So whatever it is now, just put it in a different mode. And select OK from the steering wheel. Now this says, check EXTUN, XTune, related DTC or default messages. So this is, you can tell it's from Ford because they're checking for codes and stuff like that. If there is no XTune related DCT, or there is no exhaust mode not available cluster message, then the valve learning was successful. And that's the message that I've been getting, is this is exactly it, exhaust mode not available. So basically it's saying after you go through all these steps, turn the car on, put it in a different exhaust mode, and see if it works. See if you get this message or not. Otherwise, repeat steps 1 through 5 one more time. It says, note, if there is the code or exhaust mode not available cluster message, after repeating steps 1 through 5, then mount a new actuator and try again. So I'm wondering, like I said, the communication was not very good with this guy, and I didn't, even when I picked my car up, he wasn't there. Like, he sent all the paperwork in from home. So I saw this guy once when I dropped it off. Talked to him I've already explained all that earlier, but it sounds like, I wonder if they tried this with my car and it didn't work. So then that's why they're saying, because at the end of this message, if you repeat steps 1 through 5, then mount a new actuator. So they're quoting me to mount a new actuator and do this. But it seems like part of this process would be like putting the actuator on. Like, not, if it's already messed up or it's already not working, I just don't feel like turning the car off and then on. Like, I don't feel like this is, I don't know. But if this is something that should have been done at installation, say when I first installed the exhaust, like, and I put the actuators in and I should have done this, then that to me seems like Corsa's fault. So along with this, I also have the installation instructions from Corsa. I got them pulled up. This is what I use to put the car, or put the exhaust on the car. This is from Corsa, straight from the website, and I copied it. You can see, this is straight from them, and this is straight from their website. So let's go to the part where it talks about switching the actuators. Remove 3 nuts on each actuator. Remove actuators from their valve assemblies. Place actuators at a safe location. So step number 7. Remove the actuators with 3 nuts. That's it. And then it says go on to step 11 for the installation of actuators. Confirm the spring wire form is correctly positioned. Position and install passenger valve actuator goes on the Corsa passenger valve tip. So it's just saying which one's which. Passenger valve tip assembly can be distinguished from the driver's side by the rotation of the valve relative to the Corsa edge. So it's only the difference between the driver's side and passenger side. And tighten. Use 10mm socket, drive ratchets to secure valve actuator. Put Loctite. That's it. No. All the way to the bottom at the end. I mean, there's nothing. It just said remove 3 bolts and then put them in a certain way. Here's how you tell the difference. So I don't understand. Like, I followed Corsa's instructions. Now Ford's telling me it's going to cost me $1,300 to fix. Like, who's wrong here? Is Corsa wrong for not putting the correct stuff in their instructions, and now it cost me my active exhaust? Or is Ford bullshitting me with this stuff they sent me? Like, I have no idea. I have no idea. I feel like I've scoured the internet and forums, like, trying to find my exact issue and issues going on. And there's people that'll, you know, have like relatable stuff, but no real fixes. Like, I can't nail down what my issue is. And furthermore, I can't nail down a fix for it. So I thought by taking it to the dealership, I'd get more answers, and I just seem to have more questions than I did before. So I don't know, this whole thing's frustrating. I don't feel like Ford took care of me at all, you know. And then they send me the whole email, like, you know, good review, please. This is how I get paid. This is like, I'm like, yeah, but you didn't take care of me. I'm not gonna leave a bad review, but I don't know. I'm confused. If anybody has experience with this, let me know. It's driving me insane. I don't know. I don't know who's wrong. I don't know who's right. Corsa, Ford. I've thought about reaching out to Corsa just to say, like, look, I followed your instructions, and, you know, this key step in the whole process of programming the actuators is left out. Like, you know, and it doesn't seem to be a ton of information out there. Like, you can Google Corsa active exhaust and just, there's not that many forums, not that many people. I've talked to a bunch of people. Like, I can't get it figured out. Guys, that's gonna do it for this one. If you made it this far, I appreciate you sticking till the end. As always, if you haven't, hit subscribe, man. I got some cool stuff coming in the future, and you don't wanna miss it. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.